Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. And before we get to our guest today, we have a big shout out for Living Sisu. Living Sisu is a platform and app that wants to give you all the tools to have success in your sport. Their main objective is to activate your lifestyle. So it's for active people. Enjoy discounts at companies like BioSteel, 30% off, Body Logics, the Goalie Guild, all his books are discounted. Roan, Lululemon for men, 20% off, online stretching programs with Eccentrics, 1 full month free. They got super silent massage guns, 20% off those. And it's a great quality. It's way less expensive than a Theragun, and it's great quality. So there's so many more discounts that you guys will need to just become a member to see. So they want to provide you with anything you need for success. So come join the community. I'm a part of it. A bunch of other athletes are a part of it. So it's free to join. It takes 20 seconds to get exclusive offers to your sport, and it's definitely worth it. So do us a huge favor and go sign up for Living Sisu's membership. It's free, 20 takes 20 seconds. So go do it, and we'll see you there. Living Sisu is a great company. We know one of the co-founders, Zach Fricali. He's a great guy. He's the co-founder. He does a lot of live streams on Instagram at Living Sisu, and with a bunch of elite athletes, and you learn a lot from like the athletes' determination, their resiliency, everything to what made them become successful. So it's been a great experience so far. So go on. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. So go sign up. Yo, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. I'm Jack, and in today's episode, we are joined by a very special guest, current professional hockey goaltender Joe Sheppard. Joe is currently playing in the Federal Hockey League for the Binghamton Black Bears. This is Shep's first official pro season, as he did play one game for the Danville Dashers back in 2019-2020. Shep played his junior hockey days in the WSHL, the NA3HL, the NOJ, the NOJHL, and the MJAHL, before attending 4 years of NCAA Division III hockey at Bethel University. So this can be a fun episode, and an episode in the waiting that's been in the works for a while now. So welcome to the show, Joe Sheppard.
Hey Jack, thanks for having me on. Happy to be here for sure.
Yeah, no problem. It's been a episode in the making for quite a bit now, but it's good finally get some time for both of us to hop on.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to get on here. Yeah, and school and hockey, I don't know. It's kind of took a little bit to get our schedules coordinated, but yeah, I'm glad we got that here now. So yeah, perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. So to start things off, can you give our viewers a little background information on you, like when you started playing hockey, why you started, and what youth hockey was like for you growing up in Fort Worth, Texas?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a product of the Dallas-Fort Worth hockey, which when I was growing up as a kid, not a lot of kids. I mean, we didn't. Seth Jones is just a year older than me, and Blake Coleman, I mean, he's just a few years older than me. So growing up, we didn't really have anyone to look up to. I think it's great that those guys are around now for the next group. But yeah, growing up, I think there's a lot of athletes, I guess, guys who played a lot of different sports, and hockey was just one of them. And that's really what I fell in love with at a young age. And obviously the Dallas Star, I'm a 95. So this Stars win the cup in 99. And then being in Dallas Fort Worth, yeah, that's kind of how I got into it, and kind of strapped on the pads right away. I didn't really even run and play D or forward. I just wanted to be a goalie day one. So here we are 20 some years later and still kicking.
Absolutely. That's interesting, because a lot of guys just go forward to defense and then goalie, but you're like, nope, we're going right into goaltending.
Yeah, I learned how to skate first, like anyone, and then I just begged my mom and dad to put me in the goalie gear, and I think they got tired of hearing me talk, so it ended up to shut me up. They tried to put the gear on me, so fell in love. Yeah.
Yeah, generally how that goes. But do you remember your first set?
Yeah, I had a pair of iTechs, like just some iTechs. Can't see those around anymore, but yeah, it's just very simple pair. I remember had a Brian Defoe glove, so I was a big Brian Defoe fan. But yeah, it's iTech's not around anymore, so I guess you gotta be an old guy like me to remember those. But yeah.
Yeah, I remember that the old iText, but that was just like right around like probably when I was born in 2000 or something like that. But it definitely was a brand for a while there because Flurry was had iText before, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think DiPietro was kind of their man for a while. Yeah, you had a few guys there, and but yeah, it's I don't know what even they became, but yeah, you definitely don't see a pair of those anymore.
Yeah, absolutely not. But to start things off here, I want to get into this season a little bit and then work your way down into what like juniors was like. So to start things off, like you're signed this season with the Binghamton Black Bears in the Federal Hockey League, where you've been playing and you've been playing really well there. So like, how has this season been for you and the team so far? You've played in 14 games, I believe, now going 6-5 so far. So like, what's been the season like for you?
Yeah, it's certainly it's my first professional season, as you said. So being here and I'm kind of learning, but I think we have a really great group of veterans like Josh Newberg, Kyle Powell, Kyle Stevens, guys who have been in the league for a while. That you can always bounce things off of them and talk to them. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you're a pro, you're a junior, you're in college, whatever, with the pads are on your body, it's time to stop the puck. So that's kind of what I've been doing and really trying to stop the puck for the guys in front of me and not myself. So fortunately, I've been able to get a few wins together. I mean, obviously, you always want more, so we'll hopefully keep doing that. But yeah, it's been great so far, and the city of Binghamton, New York, I can't say enough about what a special place it is. I think anyone who knows hockey knows the history of Binghamton, New York. I mean, it's on the map in the hockey world. So
Yeah.
to be here, to be in that same net, Ray Emery defended, Robin Leonard defended, to be that guy here, it's pretty special for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, what was it like putting on that Black Bears jersey the first game? You guys were in Watertown, I believe, and then like 3 games in, you're in the Binghamton Veteran Visions Memorial Arena or whatever it's called, and the best barn in the league for hands down. It's like, what was that like?
Yeah, it was. It was a sellout, our home opener, and yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but like I would just when I play, I don't even I just zone it all out. So
Yeah,
I really didn't get to enjoy it till I watched the film and kind of saw how many people were there. And so yeah, to be a part of that night, and I think it'd been 600 plus days since there'd been a pro game in that arena, and like you said, it's a great barn. So to be a part of that, be a part, just a piece of the puzzle of helping us win that night. Yeah, it was pretty awesome for sure.
yeah, absolutely. It's like, what have been some of the things that you've learned this year that you haven't learned in college, or like you're a professional athlete now? Like, what's that like couple of things that you learned from playing in the Fed so far?
I guess I've learned a lot about being a professional. Like just there's a sign in our room that says being a 24-hour pro. So just trying to be a pro. It's a little different from college. I mean, you have a lot of downtime, so just trying to use that time to take care of my body and be beneficial. Try to prepare for the next day when I'm still in today. So that's stuff I'm kind of learning, and like I said, we got a good group of guys who can we can bounce things off of and help you out. So yeah, just I guess learning how to be a pro. I mean, it would make sense being my first season, so definitely working on
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So like, what do you do to help yourself recover, especially when you guys have a ton of practices, 2 practices a day, and then you go into a game? Like, what do you do to help yourself recover?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a one of the guys that's had the double hip surgery, so taking care of those hips and really stretching and making sure I'm warming up before practice, cooling down after practice. We're really fortunate we have cryotherapy, we have the hot tubs, the cold tubs, the sauna. So using all that stuff and really kind of learning my body over these last few years, just when it tells me something to listen. And so really doing that. But yeah, the biggest thing for me, I'm not a guy in season who's in the gym, push a bunch of weight. I'm in the gym for the same amount of time, but I'm just doing things that I feel help me stop the puck, which is a lot of mobility, a lot of stretching, a lot of things that keep me flexible and keep a lot of injury prevention. I mean, it's a long season, and the goaltender is a position that can be difficult on the body, especially the lower body. So making sure that I'm taking care of that, that's been the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a huge part because your hips control a lot during like the movements and everything and like and going into the butterfly. Like that's no easy position to go into for your hips, but we do it constantly and it's just you just got to take care of those hips for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that's huge. And then it's the knees, the groin, it's everything else. So yeah, and like listen to your body. Like if it's hurt, your hips hurting, maybe stretch it a little more. Or, yeah, your groin's hurting, maybe stretch a little more and cool it down more. So yeah, definitely kind of listening to it for sure.
Yeah, it's like what's been like the most difficult part of the season so far during your first year of professional hockey?
I think a difficult part I would say is just making that transition to college to pro. I mean, college you played 25 games, and in pro, I mean, we've played almost 20 right now. So you're playing a lot more, which as a player you love, right? But
Yeah.
it's kind of it's when that's the case, you kind of had to be always ready and always. It's not on a consistent. We play Friday, Saturday. It could be Wednesday. It could be, and you're on the road. There's travel. It's a little different. We just got back from that 20-hour trip to Columbus, so something that I didn't do in college was sit on a bus for 20 hours and then get out and play. But I think one of my best games of the year was after that 20-hour trip to Columbus. I was just ready to go. So working hard to always be ready and to be ready more often. And that's kind of been the biggest challenge for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And like those bus trips must be brutal, especially when you have to play in a game right after. Like
For sure.
what's it like when you get off the bus and you're cramping up and everything? Like what do you do? Just pretty much just stretch?
Yeah, try to stretch. And we make a few stops here and there. So trying to use those stops to my advantage. We'll be throwing around the football, kind of just staying loose. But also, I think it's good for a team to be on in the same enclosed space for that long. I think
Yeah.
you have a lot of fun together and you learn about each other and you learn about who you are as a team. So we have a great group of guys here, and I'm happy to be one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So you since this your first year, like you get your first pro win, like what was that feeling like and did it happen the first game or second game?
Yeah, it was my. I was fortunate in my first start up in Watertown to able to put together a good game, and yeah, it's kind of after a lot of years of hard work to get that win at the pro level was pretty special to me. So, and I mean, it was really cool too having a bunch of texts from people back home or coaches just congratulating me. I think that was really cool. I think anyone you see in this league or any pro league anywhere, their success is the result of a lot of other people's hard work too. So definitely grateful. I think that'd be the biggest word to describe how I felt after that was grateful. Grateful for all the people who helped me along the way and for the boys in front of me who played very well that night. Were doing anything they could to help us get that win. So it was awesome.
Yeah, and that support system's huge, especially like going through like the double hip surgery and everything. Like you had to lean on a lot of people for support from at that time, and then you just to get to you where you are right now, like there's a whole list of people that gets you there. So it's that support system's huge and it's very important, especially as an athlete and going to be a professional athlete. Like that's like one of the most like important things because you could always lean on them for support and like especially when things aren't going right.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So while you play a lot of games, like you play a lot of games against certain teams, like what's it like being in that Watertown Wolves and Binghamton Black Bears rivalry?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think there's definitely some bad blood between the two teams. So um, as of late, they've gotten the better of us, but we've gotten the best of them too before. So I think it's really cool. I think it's good for the league. I think it's good for our team, for their team to have a team that you really want to beat. I think that's good for everyone. I think everyone on that ice, if you're wearing a Watertown jersey or a Binghamton jersey, you're out there to compete, and it makes that competition a little more fun when you see them that much more often. So yeah, it's cool to be a part of that for sure.
Yeah, the rivalries are always the best parts because you know when you play each other, like it's war when you guys play against each other and everyone's battling, competing for the respective side of whoever they're on, and it just makes for a fun and sometimes chippy game.
Absolutely, absolutely. Fortunately, being a goalie, I haven't had to go yet, but I guess you never know at the end of the day too. So, but yeah, it's I think those rivalry games too help you as a goaltender really try to win for your team. So yeah, definitely want us to come up more than we have been, but hopefully we'll see it moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So like what's been like your welcome to the Fed moment? Like something crazy that's happened during your first year pro?
I'm trying to think. I think let's see. I think probably the craziest thing I had to do was maybe in Danville, back last or before COVID. That was a 19-hour bus trip to Danbury, and I was backing up that game, but I went out there and I saw everyone just 20-hour trip immediately morning skate, ready to go, and we won that night. So it's like this is what these guys do. Like I got to figure it out. I think just that one trip I took with Danville before COVID shut us down. It's kind of my welcome to the Fed, welcome to the minors moment. Like these are bus trips, but you're a professional athlete and you got to win. And that's what they did
Yeah.
that night. So yeah, just I wasn't a part of that game other than sitting on the bench, but just to see how they did, and then I ended up getting in the game the next night. So it's I guess kind of learning to that you always got to be ready. So
Yeah, absolutely. I asked this question out your teammate Fitzy because he's a good buddy of mine, and he said that like when Harley White, your partner, fought Watertown in your first game of the season.
yeah, that was pretty great. I got to shout out Harley for sure. I played with him in Danville too. So yeah, definitely an awesome dude, and he can
Yeah,
drop nuts too.
yeah, and he did pretty good against that guy too.
That kid kind of jumped him and was bigger than him, but yeah, he definitely held his own for sure. So
Yeah, absolutely. But last year you did not play during the pandemic season. So like what did you do mainly to try and focus on during the last year when you didn't have a team to play on and work your way into signing for bingo this upcoming season?
yeah, I spent a lot of time during that period in San Antonio. I'm fortunate that Brent Burns doesn't live far from me, so I was skating with him. Pete MacArthur, who's the captain in Adirondack, and then I mean a couple other really good players. Just skating with them, and I mean we went at it like every day, like Monday through Friday we skated, and then we worked out after. It was like kind of like end season, even though no one was playing. I mean Burns left for a bit, but it was really I think the environment I was around helped me more than anything. Yeah, you're around guys who know what they're doing, who know how to be pros, especially Pete MacArthur. I mean, just the best dude, and he's been at it a decade. And so seeing just what he does on and off the ice to take care of himself, I mean, even just the way he treats people, definitely learned a lot from him. And during that down period, I think everyone got to kind of reflect on their careers and decide if this is what they really want to do. And I definitely decided that I wanted to give it a kick this year, and ended up here in bingo, and I'm really happy with it. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that atmosphere is huge because I was skating with like a bunch of the like, pro ECHL like SP guys and Fed guys, and like you learn a lot from those experiences and just how they treat, like you said, how they treat other people, how they treat their bodies during or like before and after the skates, and like how hard they go during practice, even though like they're still trying to be efficient with what they're doing. And just I think that's another big thing is being efficient and not like overworking yourself, and you just figure out all that out, and like you learn from all these guys because they're always like willing to talk about all that stuff and just help you out wherever you need help.
yeah, absolutely, and yeah, like what I just talked about, learning your body and knowing your body. That's something I learned from them. Those guys know everything their body's telling them at all times. That's why they're able to be efficient, like you said, and perform at that elite level. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And earlier in the episode you said you had double hip surgery, right?
Yes, I
It's
did.
like how was that surgery and just being able to recover after that and like rehab and all that, and like all the like mental drainage that must have been like to just deal with and try to get better and get back to where you were before.
Yeah, it would. I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely a tough surgery. I was fortunate. I was at Bethel at the time, and our my school helped me get things scheduled. So we played Saturday, and then I was in the operating room Monday morning. So I had really maximum time, but I wasn't able to skate from February to September, and I had to put in a lot of tedious hours. I mean, just like standing up on one foot, things that I'd done forever, I couldn't even do anymore. So definitely it was a tough period, and I had a really good group at Bethel. Mike Wild was our trainer, and he really helped me come back from that. And it's something that was definitely a mental grind too. I mean, you see your buddies in the gym lifting weight, and like you're in a wheelchair. Like that was tough to see. But at the end of the day, I decided. I mean, it was a decision I made with my surgeon that was going to help me, and I'm really happy I got it. I wasn't gonna be able to play unless I got it. So definitely a big decision, and something that was really tough to come back from, but I was able to. And definitely the credit doesn't go to me, it goes to the people around me and my teammates as well, always checking in on me, making sure I was doing all right. Definitely a tough period, but I got through it, so on the other side now.
Yeah, that it's always light at the end of the tunnel for sure, and you're at that moment right there. But like, what was your mindset throughout all this? Like you said, you're lifting, or your buddies are lifting and hitting the gym, and you're just in a wheelchair, and you're just learning to walk and stand on one leg again. Like, what was that like? And just having to focus and keep pushing yourself to like the max ability that you can before finally getting everything settled, situated.
Yeah, it was. I think it's my advice to someone going through like a surgery like that is to just, you can't look at everything big picture. You can't say I'm so far away from playing again or being even back to walking. It's really just one day at a time. Maybe I can stand on one leg for 1 second longer than the day before. Well, that's progress. So
Yeah.
making that continuous improvement over time, and not looking all as one big piece, but a puzzle, 500-piece puzzle that took however many days, and just one piece at a time. And yeah, really not psyching myself out, not getting down on myself, and yeah, just I guess being my biggest cheerleader too, and not getting too down on myself if things weren't going as fast as I wanted them to. Just being patient, and yeah, being not in my own head, just kind of taking things step by step, literally.
Yeah, all about the small wins and the small successes that you have, and just you got to take all those for granted. Just keep on putting the pieces together, like you said, every single day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I want to get into like that one game that you had in Danville really quick here. So like, what was the process like to sign with Danville in the 2019-2020 season when you just got that one game in?
Yeah, I was fortunate. I pretty much finished up my degree at Bethel. I had one online class, so it's very flexible to where I could go. And I had a guy I was working with who reached out to Danville and kind of got me in the door there, and I showed up and was able to kind of do my thing. And then we were on the road in Danbury, and the other goalie got hurt pretty bad, so I ended up going in, and my first shot I saw was a penalty shot. Luckily, the guy sailed it wide on me, or I may not have gotten that one. But yeah, it was just a quick 10 minutes of work that stopped everything I saw, and I tried to help the team win. That's really what I was there, and that's how you make friends right away, right? Is helping the boys win. So yeah, just try to do my job, keep my head down, and be a good teammate most of all. So that was definitely a good experience for me. I wish it could have gone longer, but it was the way of the world. So COVID kind of put an end to that. But yeah, definitely a great experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, what's your mind like going like when you're facing a penalty shot for your first shot, but yeah, I know just sailing wide, but like you're in the crease, the guys at center, like what are you thinking?
I think I just try to just know my strengths, and I'm a big dude. I'm 6'4", so when I see penalty shots, I try to come out on them and take away anything they can shoot at, and maybe see if they want to go around me, and this guy chose to shoot. So I guess kind of just I was just thinking about hockey, nothing else. Just thinking about stopping that puck. So I find I'm at my best when I just think about the puck. And fortunately, that day I was just thinking about the puck. So worked out.
Yeah, there we go. So I want to get into your college career a little bit here. So you played 4 years at Bethel University, which is NCAA Division III hockey. So what made you decide to go to Bethel and have that be your school for your 4 years of college?
I really was pleased with the university as a whole, not just the hockey program. Originally, I committed elsewhere, but that ended up falling through, and the people at Bethel, from staff to the players, to just people in the office at the school. It was a really good place with a lot of great people. So I think it was kind of a place that I stepped into, and I kind of knew this is where I wanted to spend time. And they had a good hockey program with some really good facilities. So being a part of that was obviously a huge bonus. And yeah, I was really happy I ended up there.
Yeah, absolutely. So you go into your first year of college hockey. Do you have any expectations going into that first year, or were you just like, I'm gonna go with the flow of things and see how everything goes from there?
Yeah, my only expectation was just to try my hardest and do everything I could to be the best goalie I could be. And if the staff determined I was going to be the guy to be the best to help the team win games, well, I want to be in. And like any goalie, I want to be in there. So there was another guy playing sophomore when I went in, but I was fortunate enough to be able to get some time there right away my freshman year, and kind of took it from there. And yeah, it was that first year. I mean, I just wanted to be the best I could, and I ended up, I think, doing that year.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, you got a ton of time that year. So you played in 16 games that first year. So like what was that transition like going from juniors to college and getting that time that necessarily freshmen usually wouldn't get?
Yeah, I think like you said, I mean, you're a goalie too. You know, like that was a really great opportunity and a rare one for a lot of guys. So I definitely was very cognizant of that, and I knew that I was getting a really good opportunity. So I definitely wanted to make the most of it. And I know when you play 25 games, if you play a bad one, you may not play anymore. So that's just how it is. And so definitely didn't take anything for granted then, and really just tried my hardest.
Yeah. So then you go into your second year and you have a career high 22 games in your college career. So like what was it like to see yourself develop from that first year to your second year and gain that valuable experience that you need to succeed?
Yeah, it was definitely pretty cool getting to play that much. I mean, I was going every night, team. So, and I had Aaron Furlano, the other dude on the team, other goalie. Couldn't ask for a better guy to support me all along the way. Really good guy. So, I mean, when that's the case, and you have that type of relationship with your goalie partner, he's definitely a guy that cared far more about team success than personal success. And definitely when you have a guy like that, I mean, you can learn from him. So that's what I try to take with me is learn from that, and be a better teammate than I am an individual. And that's a really big part of playing the position. So I really gave it my all that year. Unfortunately, there was a coaching departure after that year. But yeah, that staff really believed in me, and I definitely give credit to them for sure.
Yeah. So like would you say like that's something that you learned over your first years, like to be a good teammate and care more about like team success than like personal success and just help the team do whatever it can to help win games?
Absolutely. I mean, that was probably the biggest thing I learned in college was, I mean, I used to be like a lot of goalies, like looking at your numbers, how many shots against, how many goals against, what's my save percentage looking like all those things goalies think about. But I just started in college to think about one thing, and that was wins. And if I was going to win games, my numbers were going to take care of themselves. And if I was going to lose games, they weren't going to take care of themselves. So trying to win for guys in front of me, not even just for myself, but for guys willing to sell on block shots. And yeah, I'd say that was the biggest thing I learned, especially going into my junior year where a new staff came in and I didn't get to play as much. Kind of took what I learned from guys like Furlano, and tried to just be the best teammate I could during that period. And that's what I did. Yeah.
Yeah, so your junior year, you played 9 games, so you didn't see as much ice as you have in the past. Like with that new coaching staff, like what you have to do to help earn that trust within your coaching staff as well as like just being a better team, being a good teammate, like you said, and just being that support guy and that glue guy in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can't fault my staff for not playing me. Like I was getting outplayed. Ridge, he was outplaying me, and really good goalie. He's having a really good year this year, his senior year there, so I'm really happy for him. But yeah, there's I mean, almost a calendar year where I didn't hardly see any action, and that was tough on me mentally. When you're such a competitor, you want to get out there, but you really have to care more about the team, and Ridge was playing well, so I was on that team, and we were doing well with Ridge and net, and that was fine with me, and I just wanted to still at the end of the day be the best goalie I could be. And then yeah, and then that the new staff, I mean, they kind of changed I'm grateful for the new staff as well, because they changed kind of the trajectory of the program. I mean, it's really strong right now, and these things take time. And I was there sort of during that rebuilding process, but I look at the team now and their success, and I like to think our class was a big part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you just got to be that glue guy and that support system throughout that year, and just do whatever it can to help your teammates gain their confidence, be successful, and get some wins.
For sure.
So then you go into your senior year where you play in 13 games. Like, what was senior year like, and just or trying to make a name for yourself and get yourself into professional hockey?
Yeah, I mean, kind of started the year where Ridge was still the guy, and I ended up getting a chance, and I knew if I was gonna get a chance, it may be my last chance. So I remember that game really well. We were playing Augsburg; they're number 4 in the country, and ended up stopping like 2 on 50 something, or let in 2 on 50 something. We ended up tying on the road, and next thing I knew, I was in the net every game for the rest of the season. So definitely kind of just waited on that moment. I was really focused. It was a time period where I was playing extremely well, but it was months and months and months of hard work leading up to that helped me be successful there. And we had a great goalie coach there, Justin Grant, who helped me out even when I wasn't playing. He was putting the hours in with me to work on my game, and being a senior, I knew that might be my last chance to, yeah, like you said, make a name for myself. So definitely tried to do that, and I got that one opportunity, and I was well aware when I was starting that game that may be my last opportunity. So I just went with it and ran with it.
Yeah, and sometimes all you need is that one shot with that one opportunity to prove yourself and prove that you could play at that next level, and show that you have what it takes to play.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah. So like throughout like your 4 years of playing at Bethel, like what were some of your favorite memories and favorite moments from playing hockey there and throughout all your 4 years there?
Yeah, I would say just we had some great moments. I mean, we beat St. Thomas in a shootout. That was my first college win. That was pretty cool. I think what I mean the most is just the guys. I mean, our senior class was rare in the sense that we all stayed there all 4 years. We lived together. We did everything together for 4 years. So I guess we did. I don't really miss like putting on the jersey. I just miss doing it with those guys. Just a really great group of dudes there, and we had a pretty good team there at the end. So it was awesome to be a part of it, and yeah, just playing hockey, playing there in Blaine. Our school did a great job supporting us. Yeah, it was a cool place to play for sure. Very special.
Yeah, that's great. And some of the best moments of hockey is spending time with the boys. No matter where you are, like that's where you make the most memories, and just being around them.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, definitely chalk that up as my favorite moments from playing college hockey, is just doing it all with those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to get into your junior career a little bit here. So in 2012, 2013, you played for the Dallas Snipers in the WSHL, where you played in 12 games there. It's like, what was it like getting that opportunity in the WSHL, and how did that opportunity come?
Yeah, it was kind of I had to make that choice if I wanted to play U18 trips or if I wanted to play Western States, and kind of just decided on Western States. we had a really good coach, Travis Clayton, and so play for him was pretty cool. It was that league was kind of different even then than it is now. I mean, there were fights all the time, line brawls, constant. I mean, it was a rough league, and I was one of the youngest kids in it at the time. So I mean, I was got a little
A
scared.
little
Sometimes.
intimidated, yeah.
Yeah. When you're like 17, there's a big 21-year-old on the other ice trying to chase you down. Yeah, but it was a good experience, I think. Being a younger guy, learning from the older dudes. Yeah, it was a good experience. I got to play in Dallas Fort Worth for kind of the last time, so that was pretty cool and special there. And yeah, it's definitely a year that I kind of learned that what it was going to take to be where I wanted to be in hockey and take things kind of seriously so I could get it to the next level. And yeah, definitely learned that in that first year of junior hockey.
Yeah, and you being 17 years old and playing guys 18, 19, 20, and 21 in that league, like they'd be intimidating sometimes. Like what do you have to learn if you wanted to compete with those guys and just play the WSHL game and while also playing or trying to just prove to yourself that you can play at that level?
Yeah, I was fortunate that I had a 21-year-old goalie partner, Skog, he kind of took me under his wing, and he played in the league before, and so I bounced ideas off of him constantly, and he was always very supportive of me. So yeah, I think definitely owe a lot to him to help to get to that place where to know where I could play with these guys, even though they're quite a bit older, and kind of just learning for the first time that like it doesn't matter who's on the other side. Like if your gear is on and you're in the blue paint, like you can't let them get past you. So it's kind of really learning that for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. So then the following year, you spend time in Cincinnati with the Swords in the NA3. Then you move to the Mattawa Blackhawks in the Noj, and then Amherst Ramblers, and Iraqis Falls Eskimos throughout your junior career. So, like, what was it like moving around to those different leagues and just the differences that you've noticed throughout those leagues?
Yeah, it was. I'm definitely fortunate that I think that I got to play a lot of different places and just off the ice meet a lot of cool people that I would have never met. But I think there's something I learned from every season. When I was in Cincinnati, I was playing well, but I thought I was going to get more time, and I didn't end up getting that time. So I mean, kind of just learning that the position can be cruel sometimes. But fortunately, I mean, the other goalie on the team was a very solid goalie too. But just kind of learning that you can play well and you should always try to play well no matter what. If you can't just go out there and play and think I'm going to get the next game, like you just have to take it one game at a time and work your hardest to stop every puck. And I ended up playing in Mattawa the year after, and we had a rough season, but I got to play a lot and gain valuable experience. And the Noge was definitely a league I think that I owe a lot to. It's not maybe the most well thought of league in Canada, like the BCHL, but I definitely owe a lot to my career that league, getting to play a lot. And I was out in the Maritimes in Nova Scotia for a bit. And yeah, I mean, a lot of good guys out there. Unfortunately, my game, I couldn't find it out there. I wasn't playing well, and rightfully, I'd say I got shipped out. So I'd say getting traded like that as a 20, that was a big ego hit. And I think maybe I had a bit of an ego. So I think it was probably a really good thing for me reflecting now so many years later that even if you're playing a lot, even if you're all that somewhere, like you got to just shut up and stop the puck sometimes. So
Yeah.
definitely learned that through my junior hockey and ended up finishing up in IF and yeah, and good group out there. And yeah, I was able to get my college commitment out of that league.
Yeah, so like you said, like you had some seasons that weren't the best and that you got shipped out and all that. So like what do you learn from those experiences? Because you were playing a lot during those times too. It's like I feel like you learned like the best experiences and like how to get better and develop through times that where you're not playing as great or you're not getting the wins you want. So like, what do you learn throughout those seasons and just being able to just stay on track and just be able to use that like value to develop even further?
Yeah, definitely. You learn just a lot about. I think I learned a lot about myself as a person and what type of man I wanted to be, and when you're someone who just is doing everything for yourself, like you want to make saves for yourself, it was kind of just I didn't want to be like that. I want to make saves for the guys in front of me, and I had to learn. That was something I had to learn. It wasn't something that was like that. So I think right now the guys would say I'm a really good teammate, and I definitely pride myself on that. But I'm smart enough to know that wasn't always the case. So definitely, yeah, I think I learned a lot just about being a part of a team, and goaltending can be a selfish position, and it has to be at times because, I mean, it's one on one, and it's you versus them, and you got to do everything you can, just keep that puck out. But at the end of the day, you're that six guys on the ice. They say it's 5-on-5, 4-on-4. Now it's 6-on-6, and you're just a part of it. So I definitely learned in my junior hockey experience having that roller coaster, having good seasons and bad seasons, and getting traded and losing a lot, winning a lot, letting in a lot of goals, stopping a lot. I think I found out who I was as a goalie and who I was going to just kind of being a young man, kind of finding my place in the world. Definitely learned a lot there too.
Yeah, you live and you learn. Like that's the biggest thing you can take away is that you live those experiences and you learn from them to better yourself as a person and as an athlete.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I have a few more questions for you before we get into the viewer submitted Q&A questions. So do you have any tips for goaltenders looking to get to that next level?
I would say persistency is always key when you're a goaltender. That you can't let a bad game or a bad goal affect how you play, that you always have to stay with it. You always have to work as hard as possible. And I think the ones that are rewarded in our position are the ones who are the most persistent, the ones who always stay at it. So I would definitely say any goaltender at any level, if you're persistent, that's what matters the most.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great tip, and can't complain about that because if you keep playing, if you're persistent and you keep like doing the things you should be doing, like you're eventually gonna find your way and get some wins for your team.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah. So then my next question is like, what's a game day routine in Shep's world?
I guess I mean I have things I like to do. I like to like get the body moving and try to eat like a nice meal. But there's a Greg Harlan, a basketball player, and he said once his superstition is to not have a superstition. And I like kind of took that and ran with it. So I don't want to be like I have to eat at this restaurant because what if they're
Yeah.
closed? I'm gonna play bad now. Like I can't be
Yeah.
like that. So I think I just have like I warm up, I play sewer, and then when it's time to get dressed, I'm the quietest guy in the room. I'm not saying a word to anyone, and that's kind of my formula that works for me. I think everyone has their own formula that works for them, and it's experiment. It's years of practice, but yeah, usually just wake up, kind of stretch out, do the morning skate, eat that meal, have the nap, and then head to the arena and kind of get things rolling. But there's nothing I have to do. Like if
Yeah.
one thing doesn't go one way, it doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna play the same at the end of the day.
Yeah, you don't want to have those superstitions where you're like, if I do this, or if I do this, and then the next day it's like closed or something like that, and I'm gonna play bad. Like they just go with the flow kind of things right there.
Sure, goaltending's a position where you control absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
Everything happens in front of you, and it comes to you. So that's kind of how I look at my game days. Whatever happens, happens. When I'm in the net, I'm gonna stop the puck. So yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then my final question before we get to the viewer submitted Q&A questions is, how do you get the nickname Shep Show? Because it flows really well, especially on Instagram, the Shep Show.
Yeah, I wish I had some elaborate story, but I just gave that one to myself, and it's kind of stuck. So, yeah, Shep Show. Yeah, that one was given to me by Joe Sheppard.
That's awesome.
It's stuck. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think it's time to get into the viewer Q&A questions. We have 3 or 4 or something like that. So the first one is from Ridge, your ex goalie partner is asking about his goalie coach at Bethel. Like what was your goalie coach like?
Yeah, Justin Grant, he worked us. I'll say that he worked us, and he was a guy who went out there and just he worked us hard every day. And Rich knows all about that. So yeah, and definitely, like I said already, I mean, Ridge is he's a great goalie, and he's having a great year. And he actually scored a goal the other night, so gotta show some goalie goal love. And yeah, definitely, yeah, owe a lot even just to Ridge for being where I am. Great dude.
Yeah, goal. You got to give love to goalie goals. Have you ever tried for a goalie goal or want to get a goalie goal?
I had one in junior, and I hit the side of the net, and I haven't had another chance since. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe one of these days I can fire one down there.
Yeah, that'd be a nice video for sure. But our next question is also from Ridge, and he said, ask him about his scar on his head. So what's the story with that?
Yeah, just
Oh yeah, you can see it a little bit.
yeah, little puck action. So yeah, just a little puck through the cage. Yeah, it's fortunately healing up a bit. You can't see it too bad. The mother was not pleased with that one. So yeah.
Through a cat eye?
Yeah, through the cat eye, just hit it perfectly. So
yeah, that's
the wrong way, not perfect in the right way. The perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. The mom does not like the cat eye, but I'm gonna wear it regardless.
You gotta see. That's what
yeah, you gotta see. That's the most important part for sure. Yeah. And then the final question is from Fitzy. Who has the best flow on the team?
Well, I mean, I can't say myself, even though I think I'm a worthy candidate. But I'm gonna have to go Fitzy. Definitely great hair on the guy. Got the mud flaps going in the back, and he's got a little mullet style, so I love that out of him.
Yeah, so Fitzy, I guess that's the answer you're looking for. So there we go.
There you go.
But Shep, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to following your career the rest of the way. And good luck the rest of the way with bingo this season.
Hey, it means a lot, brother. Thanks a ton for having me on, and best of luck to you. Yeah, we'll stay in touch.
Yeah, absolutely.